Let us take it this way. You see, the SP has commenced investigations having reasonable ground to suspect that something appears tainted and therefore want the court to freeze it. Investigations are ongoing. I'm not sure that the investigation has been completed. They are still ongoing. Now, under the scheme of affairs, the law allows him to come to court within 7 days to get confirmation of the seizure. Now, if he goes and the court says, yes, I agree with you, I'm going to freeze for you, you have 60 days within with preferred charges. If within 60 days don't prefer any charges, you have to release the property back to the owner. Okay? Now, if you prefer charges, then you can now come back to the court for another extension of the order that you receive for a 2-year period. Then you can now proceed to go and try the person in court or whatever it is. At the stage where we find ourselves now, where we are now, I think that we should allow the system to run the way it's been running.
Before MPP came into an office, they made solemn pledges to the people of Ghana. One such solemn pledge was the fact that their realization and acknowledgement that Ghana was unable to fight corruption because the Attorney General sits in cabinet, and that's what the manifesto of the MPP said, sits in cabinet with his colleague ministers. So we'll find it difficult to prosecute them when they are engaged in acts of corruption. So your manifesto said. And so they were proposing that to cure these development, or if you want lacuna, even though many people were talking about separating the Attorney General's office from the Minister of Justice, their suggestion, the MPP's suggestion, was to establish an office of the Special Prosecutor. Correct. And when they came, one of the first pieces of legislation they passed, apart from personal legislation to amend the Local Government Act to make the appointed local assemblymen go retire or sack them, one of the most important pieces of legislation they passed was the Public Officers Act, the Special Prosecutors Act. And I was a ranking member. And I traveled with the committee to many jurisdictions, Samson. So it's a difficult job. But you understand, like in Malaysia, they say that unless you are prepared for the difficult jobs, unless you are prepared as a political party, and the People's Party of Singapore, where what's the name of that man who was in Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, had come to office on the promise to fight corruption. In fact, when they were going to be sworn into office, they wore white. They were clean. So unless you are prepared to deal with your own appointees, you are not able to fight corruption. Because there's always a layer to enrich oneself with public funds. So when they appointed the public prosecutor, they gave the public prosecutor all powers. In fact, in Singapore, we were told that a minister of state was being investigated. He was so close to the Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew. He went to Lee Kuan Yew and said he should interfere. And Lee Kuan Yew asked, didn't we all sit down to agree that to fight corruption we needed a special prosecutor, and that when the special prosecutor is going after anybody, we don't have to shield that person? The minister went out and committed suicide. So you must be prepared to put ministers to shame. You must be prepared to put public officers to shame. That's why I have been very disappointed in Nana Akufo-Addo when he's turned himself into a clearing agent.